morning, East Castle Place. How's everybody doing out there? Alright, well, welcome to this edition of Coffee with Tyler. Thanks so much for joining me today. Hope you have your favorite drink in hand and join me in the first sip. Alright, so, obviously a lot's been going on here at East Castle Place as the fall weather, well, if it appears to potentially be here, but you know, football's back, as well as a number of the fall pumpkin spices and things of that nature, so I hope we're all getting ready for that. A couple of things that I wanted to update you on. Obviously, I'll give you an update on COVID today, a few community life updates, maintenance, and then also just what more can we do to help socialize the residents, as well as what that looks like to ensure safety and security for all. And then last but not least is voting. So let's jump into it. But before I get started, I want to wish everybody out there a happy belated Grandparents' Day. I hope you were able to see the video that the marketing team and Scott McPherson and Mike Brever put together. Thank you so much to the children and grandchildren that put together a video and just some really nice thoughts. I can't tell you how awesome that was to see it, and again, the stories are absolutely incredible. So I believe that was rerunning a couple of times. If not, and if you didn't see that, please let me know. I'll be happy to get you the link or get that put on channel 955. So, COVID-19. You saw last week in a memo from me that we had 6 cases between the last 2 or 3 weeks as we're sitting today. Of course, that's you know, more than we've ever had. But at the same point, we're fortunate that is more than we ever had. The testing continues, and so I'm happy to report that we've done now over additional 200 plus tests at this point between last week and now this week of retesting staff, because again, part of the process is we want to make sure that nobody else that we've mitigated the risk. All those tests have come back negative. And so again, that's very good news for East Castle Place and for you as residents, and of course for our staff. That again, the risks and the staff that did test positive, a few of those staff members are already back to the community. They've gone through their full 10 to 14 day period and have returned to work, which is great because of course that always means that other staff members are having to work on their behalf, but also maybe some service levels aren't quite to what we would expect. But I appreciate your patience and understanding through all this. So the protocol is if somebody tests positive, that they're withheld from the community for at least 10 days. Now, a number of them have been asymptomatic, but at the same time, we're taking the same protocols in place. We are supporting them, obviously, from a business standpoint. And of course, I can't share that information with you about who has it or things of that nature, but I want to reassure you that in the event that you were exposed, you would have been tested. And so again, I know a number of you were tapped on the shoulders. I know a couple of you came to my office and said, Tyler, I believe I may have had interaction at some point with this individual. Again, we have a full tracing process of how we test both staff and residents. And so again, the staff and the contact tracing that we've done, the retesting we've done, continue to come back negative. Great news. With that being said, we are going through a recurring testing process. I'm not sure if you saw some of the literature out there that's on the internet or some news. In our healthcare center, we will be retesting everybody weekly for the next, well, as far as Milwaukee County goes, every 3 to 7 days, and then after that, after next week, will be every 14, and that's part of the Center for Medicare and Medicaid guidelines. And so, Center for Medicare and Medicaid is the regulatory agency that has oversight of our health center. Of course, the health center has also the most vulnerable individuals, those that are coming from the hospital, those that have weak immune systems, so on and so forth. And so per our protocols, testing will continue. We do anticipate that we will see more positive tests, whether that's asymptomatic or not. We are testing individuals that also are presenting still, like we have for the last 6 months, some symptoms. Again, I can tell you that 98% I think is our negative rate at this point are coming back negative. And so we'll continue to do those testings. I'll continue to keep you updated on a weekly basis, and of course, in the event that you do have direct exposure, you will be contacted directly. And so, again, that's been the protocol that we've had in place since this COVID-19 situation has started. Obviously, we've changed some of the processes that we've done, just in recent light of the situations that we've gone through and are experiencing. Because again, this is such a fluid situation. I think you've probably all seen the news, you've seen the papers. We're getting different directions and updates to our protocols, and so we have to be fluid. We have to encompass that change. But I'm fortunate to work alongside Lindsay V. Goot, Ashley Drummond, Roxanne Farr, and Paige Jans. Roxanne's our infection control nurse, who's really got a beat on what these protocols are. And we're implementing those, and we're getting that information to the staff, and that's why we've gone to this recurrent testing. That's why we've done the contact tracing and the number of tests that we've done. So again, this is a very fluid situation. COVID, obviously, I've said this before, isn't going to end tomorrow. This is something that, doesn't look like it's going to be done in the next 30 to 60 days. It's going to be something that we need to continue to monitor, to mitigate. But again, the steps that we've taken, our housekeeping team, doing the infection control programs, the staff taking the extra precautions with face shields, and of course you do your part by wearing these, the masks. And I again want to commend all of you, as I've seen the vast majority wearing masks in the hallways. Even if you think, hey, nobody's around, I don't have to wear my mask, please wear your mask if you're outside your apartment. Again, that's just for your safety. If you have housekeeping services in your apartment, please, leave the apartment or go to a separate room and try not to chat as much as possible. As tough as that is to say, as tough as that is to probably do, again, we just want to mitigate those exposures. When you're going outside, again, be smart. Again, if you had an exterior courtyard visit planned and that family member is having the sniffles even, that might be allergies, please hold off. Again, take those steps to mitigate the risk of COVID to yourself. At the end of the day, we have to hold ourselves accountable and then hold each other accountable. And I want to assure you that from an East Castle Place standpoint, our employees, they are, again, everybody's monitored on the way in, testing symptoms. And again, we are being ultra conservative from a standpoint of, if you have a sniffle, you are most likely going to be tested, and then you're going to be held out. So again, that does create some issues when we're trying to provide services to you all, but at the same time, that's the approach we've taken the entire time. That's the approach we'll continue to take, and I hope everybody can understand that. Speaking of just what that does from a service standpoint, I will tell you, and again, these aren't excuses, it's just more for an update. The housekeeping department, hopefully you haven't felt it, but they've been working shorthanded for some time, just not even with some of the situations COVID related, but just some regular PTO. Our staff still deserve time off. And so again, we need to make sure the mental capacities as well as the outside East Castle Place capacities, they need those breaks. And so the director team are stepping up. They're giving those breaks. They're supplementing the staff and doing a really nice job. And we're really trying. Again, I want to commend each and every staff member for putting forth their best effort, for maybe doing a little bit extra to help out the team overall, to provide the services to you at East Castle Place. And so again, I know services look different right now. They look different obviously in the dining room when they're 6 feet apart. You have to make reservations. The deliveries, obviously the takeout food is getting old to a degree of being over 6 months now. Again, Carlos and I are in discussions. I can tell you he's been in, supporting the staff, allowing some of the staff to still take the time that they initially had, whether that be submitted 3 months ago, and filling the gap. So again, I want to commend Carlos Matos. But again, your feedback is needed and necessary, so please let us know. But the team is definitely working and doing everything they can to try to meet the demands and the needs and the wants and the expectations. Again, we review those comment cards, especially in the dining room, and that's the feedback that we need. So please continue to give that to myself, to Carlos. We're here for you to try and make the experiences and the expectations that you have to the best of your ability. If you haven't gone to the dining room, it gives you an opportunity to socialize, but also it allows you to, not have that to-go container potentially sitting outside your door if you, just from the delivery time. So again, I encourage you, but at the same time, take it at your pace. We will still do everything we can to provide that service. I also appreciate your understanding because again, we are, with time off and different things that are going on in the kitchen, we did have to shut the bistro down this week. I apologize for the quick decision and maybe some miscommunication. Again, you can still get lunch, just call it in, but that bistro is going to be shut down at least for this week and maybe next week as well, just until we get some of the team back that we can provide both services in the bistro. And oh, by the way, we also have, over, when I think about it, roughly, call it 300 meals a day that have to get to our assisted living, that have to get to our memory support neighborhoods, as well as our healthcare. And so again, we need the staff to be able to do that. I only share this with you because, again, I want to give you a little peek behind the curtain, but at the same time, I don't want you to come behind the curtain. You are not responsible for any of the operations here at East Castle Place. That's not why you live here. You live here to live an active lifestyle, fulfilling lifestyle, to do everything that you want. And so we need to continue to provide those services. But at the same time, I know that there's been a lot of changes, and I know that a lot of you care about the staff and what's going on behind the scenes. So I just wanted to take a moment to pull the curtain back just slightly. But again, no excuses here. We have team members that are able to step up and have been stepping up and will continue to step up. So again, if there's questions or concerns, please just let us know. That's why we're here. That's my COVID-19 update for you today. Again, we'll continue the testing. We'll continue to be transparent in those results. Continue to wear your masks. And if you or your loved ones have any questions, my door's open. Except for, well, by the time you're viewing this, it'll be back open. I've been in training the last 2 days, so my door's been closed more than I usually would like. But again, my door's open to you. My email's available to you, and my phone is available to you. Sorry, I just heard an email. So again, please continue to be communicative with myself, with the director team. We're here for you. Again, we'll stay East Castle Place strong. We will get through this together. I am optimistic, again, so fortunate, so blessed, whatever you want to say, that I get to work with just staff that continue to amaze me, continue to do incredible things, go above and beyond. And so again, we're going to be taking the steps that I'll share with you here momentarily, but my whistle's getting needs to get wet, so staff, spoken about them for a long time, speak to them blue in the face. Next week, you're going to see a lot of employee recognition. So it's kind of just one of those kind of recognition type weeks that we need. So we got a number of things in store for our employees. A lot of that's going to dovetail into our residents as well, to include you. Obviously, we're one big family, we're one community. But I want you to know that the staff that we have, we're going to continue to support, and we're going to continue to make sure that they're knowing and feeling appreciated. That's my responsibility as well as the rest of the directors, because day in and day out, they do, for a large majority, put forth just an incredible effort to meet the wants, the needs, the work orders, the cleaning, the care, day in and day out. And so again, I know it hasn't been perfect, and I know that I'm not here to tell you it's going to be perfect. There's going to be bumps in the road. But again, that's why I feel so blessed to be here, because you as a resident population as a whole are very understanding and patient. But again, I know that patience and understanding does wear thin. And so again, that's why we need to know and need to push forward some of these things to get back to what I'll call normal, although normal is not what it used to be. So speaking of just residents, community life department, the activities department, first things first, Laura will be back here at the end of the month. Looking forward to that. But a couple of you after last Coffee with Tyler said, Tyler, what happened to the happy hours? So I've had conversations with a few of you, and I want to have it at large with all of you. The happy hours just really started to. We didn't have the staff capacity. Obviously, with Laura out, obviously with some individuals that had some PTO and things of that nature, we unfortunately just had a loss of capacity for staff to go 3 days a week, or 1 day a week actually, to each area, but really in 3, to provide that level of service to the community at large. So we've gone and we've mitigated to independent living rental, historic, contemporary, week by week. So I know that a couple of you said, well, that's something we really look forward to. And again, I want to encourage you. I want to assure you also it wasn't budget related by any means. I think I made kind of a tongue-in-cheek comment that that $10 bottle of wine or mixed drink goes a very long way for happiness. And so again, that's something that I would always put forth. But at the same time, I need to manage the stress of the staff and the labor of the staff to make sure we're meeting the needs of the entire community as a whole. Transportation has picked up tremendously, and so again, that's put Scott, our transportation coordinator, kind of in a chair of having to answer the phone and coordinate a lot of different things. Obviously, also you've seen some different faces at the front desk. I'm looking forward. Lila looks like she'll be returning at the end of the month too. But then Famada's been out, and so we've had some different individuals, which again, those lift requests and things of that nature have gone back to Scott. So again, we're just managing and trying to take care of the greatest needs of the community. Obviously with Cooper and the rest of the CLS team, they've been stepping up, but there's only so many of them. And again, I have directors that also have been supporting them, but unfortunately, with all the testing that's been happening, and with the different directors that have actually had to insert themselves into whether that's maintenance, housekeeping, food and beverage, nursing, so on and so forth, the bandwidth just hasn't been there. But at the same time, I don't want to get your hopes down. Those happy hours are very important. So I'm working with the team. I have a meeting with the team as you're watching it today, the Community Life team, to figure out what else can we do. How can we continue to creep back towards normal, creep back towards that life that all of you have come to expect and know. I've had a couple of conversations. The conversation corner or conversation meetings that you've had, that have been put on by a couple of you residents. It's incredible. Socialization is such a huge part of why residents at East Castle Place live at East Castle Place and why residents thrive. And so again, I'm working with the Community Life team as well as you as residents, to figure out how can we safely socially distance as well as safely interact and socialize. Again, we've seen great results. Again, we have 0 residents that have been tested positive for COVID-19. Again, huge credit goes to these masks, and a huge credit goes to what you all are doing, but that socialization is very important, and how do we do that safely? And so with that being said, I want to work with you, but I want to encourage you to do your own little happy hours, safely, socially distance, and also what can East Castle Place do to be a conduit of that, to provide that safety. Whether that's, maybe it's each floor does a happy hour on a given day. But again, I know that there's so many of you that may walk past and see residents interacting and may want to join the fun. And again, we're still trying to limit the group size to 20 or less, just because of the space and the social distancing. But socializing, the emotional piece of health and wellness is so important and so imperative. And so that's what I want to work with the community life team, as well as the director team, as well as you as residents at large. So be on the lookout for that. Please continue to send me emails and stop me in the hallway and say, hey, this is an idea that I have. We'll definitely explore that. We have a couple interns that are working in the fitness center, so hopefully you're all able to introduce yourselves to them. Again, physical fitness is important. It's a nice outlet. It also encourages endorphins. We also have a student artist in residence that's going to be starting with us. It's our partnership with the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, and just a fantastic program. Jessica Schubkegel, if you remember her, and the number of events that she was able to do. Now we have another Jessica coming to East Castle Place, and I'll be working with her beginning next week, making sure obviously it goes through the proper protocols, but just another layer of some activity groups and things of that nature that we can safely do socially distancing and bring in another creative element to you as East Castle Place residents. So that's the community life update. Another fun thing that we did last Friday, thank you to a few of you, Nancy Bollender and Augie Mortarello, for joining us in our walk, our virtual walk to end Alzheimer's. A number of us had these awesome masks that we were able to wear during the walk. It says just walk to end Alzheimer's. Really great group of staff members were able to walk the block over the lunch hour. And so again, if that's something that interests you, or by all means let me know. We are still taking donations for our cause of Alzheimer's. You're welcome to do that, and again, it's a great cause. All right, what else do we have? All right, window washing. Eric will mention this on State of the Castle. I'll also put a plug in right now for State of the Castle. We will be filming State of the Castle for next week and then airing that next week, I believe. Check your calendars. But if you have questions or you want updates, by all means, write it in. The slips will be in the mailroom to write in, and then we can address those at large. Because if you have a question, I'm sure one of your neighbors may have the question as well. With that, window washing. So Eric and the team are coordinating window washing. I'm sure that a memo will be forthcoming probably in the next 2 weeks. We're looking at early October to start, and then obviously have that complete by the end of October, so that we have crystal clean windows going into the holidays for you all. So I know that there's been a couple questions regarding that, and wanted to address that. Lastly, I was asked to speak a little bit about voting. If you haven't seen, Kathy Johnson put together a wonderful kind of tutorial guide for voting, and I'm sure that'll be aired. But again, I know a number of you have reached out about, hey, so how are we going to vote this year? What about absentee ballots? Am I registered? Will you take me to the polls, etc., etc.? I want to first just give a brief, congratulations. Thank you so much to our own Kathy Johnson and Joe Schmidt as well as Gary Aubrey, who have really been spearheading these efforts to ensure everybody has that wonderful, wonderful American right to vote. So a couple things. We will not be providing transportation to the polling centers. Again, just because of COVID and because of wanting to mitigate that, we at East Castle Place will not be providing that transportation. But don't let that get you down. If you do feel that voting in person is very, very important to you, you are able to go to the East Side Library for early voting. Again, look for some communication there. But also, Kathy and Joe have said, beginning every Wednesday at the end of September and through October, in the AMs and PMs, they'll be happy to sit down and they'll be available and be a resource for you, just to look you up and to help you register or to verify that you are registered, to help you with the absentee ballots. Again, we want this to be very easy for you, as well as so that your voice is heard. We will collect the absentee ballots. Gary Aubrey will personally deliver those once they are complete. So again, that's something that you can easily do. Again, early voting is another opportunity for your voice to be heard. Again, we will have a full published information packet for you. And again, Gary Aubrey, Kathy Johnson, and Joe Schmidt are fantastic resources for you to go through and really get those questions answered. The simple, I just moved here, or I moved, did I register? It's been a couple of years since last I voted. Did my address match up? Again, Joe and Kathy and Gary are able to be assistants to you there. Again, if you've reached out to Laura, I know a couple of you have. Gary should have been in touch with you. And so again, let us know. That's what we're here for. Also, just a quick segue, because this, caught the old light bulb. A number of you have left messages for Laura. I am checking those messages in her absence, just to make sure I'm on top of things. I know there probably were delays, so I apologize for that. But again, if you have questions that that you think Laura might have or be directed, please feel free just to forward those on to me or Maureen, and we're able to work through those more quickly and respond. Because again, Laura is still out, but should be returning here towards the end of the month, and looking forward to that. Lori Meckley, our Director of Assisted Living, is also looking for an early October return. And so again, it'll be nice to have the band back together, so to speak, and look forward to it. All right. Well, I know that was a lot of information. Again, from a COVID standpoint, you will be receiving a memo today in your mailboxes. Again, the staff get a separate memo, and then families get another one. If you have family members that you want to keep included or updated, or want me to update, pass along their email addresses. That's what I'm here for. I'm happy to do that. So, as always, again, it's going to be a beautiful day. It looks like a beautiful week. Looks like sunshine all the way through. Finally able to mow the lawn after the hay field that I had back home. But able to do that last night, and it was great to get out there and enjoy the beautiful weather. I encourage all of you to enjoy the beautiful weather as well. And again, we're gonna get through this. Again, I know that there's a lot upcoming, a lot of different things. Again, if you have questions or concerns, or hey, I just need an outlet, Pastor Epley obviously is a great outlet as well for those questions, those stressors in life, and just for support. But that's what we're here for as well. The director team, myself, the staff, we're here for you, and I'm so appreciative that I know you're here for us. Your encouragement, your support, your smiles, even through the masks, means so much to myself as well as the staff at large. So keep up the great work. Stay confident, stay positive, stay optimistic. We're going to get through this. We're going to remain East Castle Place strong. We use the old term ECP strong. And let's make it a great day. Let's make it a great weekend. I'll see you this weekend as I'm the manager on duty, so I'll be here on Saturday, all right? So with that, I'm going to sign off with a sip and enjoy the beautiful day. Take care, everyone.